America Trends. We only talk about what your social media says is trending. So let's get right back to it. With Donald Trump out of the way at the Fox News debate, the next two in the line of fire were the senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. Could Trump's action of sitting out the debate have actually hurt him? Hurt Cruz and Rubio, since Trump wasn't there to take the blows as the frontrunner? Here to discuss is political guru Barry Nussbaum. Barry, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Dr. G.
All right, Barry, at one point in the debate, Ted Cruz decided to go after the moderators. I want to show you this video and get your reaction.
Note that the last four questions have been: Rand, please attack Ted. Marco, please attack Ted. Chris, please attack Ted. Jeb, please attack Ted. Let me just say this.
It is a debate, sir.
Well, no, a debate actually is a policy issue, but I will say this. Gosh, if you guys ask one more mean question, I may have to leave the stage.
Barry, did that go over as well as Cruz intended it to?
You heard the booing from the audience, Dr. G. He could not have been more unfunny under the circumstances, sadly. He does not have that charisma that Donald has or even Rubio has to pull off a stunt like that. It fell flat, and Iowa didn't like it at all.
All right, Barry, but the moderators did something unique last night for Cruz and Rubio. They played their own words for them and asked them to respond to themselves. First was Ted Cruz. Barry, let's watch how Cruz handled it, and then I want to get your thoughts.
Sure.
On this issue. Let's move on. Senator Cruz, when Senator Rubio proposed that bill creating a path to citizenship, you proposed an amendment. It would have allowed for legalization, but not citizenship. Yes, it would. Pressed last month on why you supported legalization, you claimed that you didn't, right? Like you just did. I saw that. You argued that this was just a poison pill amendment, basically something designed to kill the bill and not actually get it through. But that is not, however, how it sounded at the time. Watch.
I want this bill to be voted down. I don't want immigration reform to fail. I want immigration reform to pass. I believe if this amendment were to pass, the chances of this bill passing into law would increase dramatically.
I believe if the amendments I introduced were adopted, that the bill would pass. And my effort in introducing them was to find a solution that reflected common ground and that fixed the problem.
If the proponents of this bill actually demonstrate a commitment not to politics, not to campaigning all the time, but to actually fixing this problem, to finding a middle ground, that would fix the problem and also allow for those 11 million people who are here illegally a legal status with citizenship off the table.
Was that all an act? It was pretty convincing.
You know, the amendment you're talking about is one.
Okay, hang on. Keep going.
Anyone can go online at tedcruz.org and read exactly what it said. In those 38 words, it said anyone here illegally is permanently ineligible for citizenship. It didn't say a word about legalization.
But the bill allowed both. The bill you were amending allowed citizenship and legalization.
But, Megan, the bill was 1,000 pages. I introduced a series of amendments, each designed to fix problems in the bill. The fact that each amendment didn't fix every problem didn't mean that I supported the rest of the bill. And I'll tell you who supported my amendment. Jeff Sessions, the strongest opponent of amnesty in the United States.
I want to get your thoughts on that.
You know, I got to tell you, Cruz is the smartest guy on that stage, and it's probably not even close. Don't forget, this is a guy that had clerked at the Supreme Court. He's argued in front of the Supreme Court. He's a constitutional scholar. He's the best equipped to dig himself out of a hole. Megyn Kelly threw him into that hole, and it's probably a hole that Ted Cruz designed himself and got trapped. I think he did a fairly good job in extricating himself. But if I'm watching that and I'm an opponent of any kind of amnesty, I'm not having the warm and fuzzies for Ted Cruz after that segment.
Well, they weren't finished. Here's what happened to Marco Rubio.
Welcome back, everyone, live in Des Moines, Iowa. And now we move on to the topic of immigration. Senator Rubio, we start with you. When you ran for Senate in 2010, you made clear that you opposed legalization and citizenship for illegal immigrants. You promised repeatedly that you would oppose it as a U.S. Senator as well. Here are just a few examples. Watch.
Never support, never have, and never will support any effort to grant blanket legalization amnesty to folks who have entered or stayed in this country illegally.
First of all, earned path to citizenship is basically code for amnesty, is what they call it. And the reality of it is this. It is unfair to the people that have legally entered this country to create an alternative pathway for individuals who entered illegally and knowingly did so.
You cannot grant amnesty. If the American people see us grant amnesty, they will never again believe in legal immigration. They will never again support it. And that's wrong for our country, bad for our future.
Within 2 years of getting elected, you were co-sponsoring legislation to create a path to citizenship. In your words, amnesty. Yeah. Haven't you already proven that you cannot be trusted on this issue?
No, because if you look at the quote, and it's very specific, and it says blanket amnesty. I do not support blanket amnesty.
But you went on
I do not support amnesty.
You said more than that, sir.
No, I said I do not support blanket legalization.
You said earned path to citizenship is basically code for amnesty. You supported earned path to citizenship.
It absolutely has been. And at the time and the context of that was in 2009 and 2010, where the last effort for legalization was an effort done in the Senate. It was an effort led by several people that provided almost an instant path with very little obstacles moving forward.
All right, Barry, how did he do on that?
I think he did much better than Ted Cruz. And the reality is most political analysts agree Rubio probably won the debate on substance delivery and his ability to handle those kinds of setup questions that Megyn is so absolutely expert at throwing at candidates. I think he did an excellent job.
Ted Cruz was also challenged on ethanol mandates, a big topic in Iowa. Here's how this went down.
Senator Cruz changed the subject. You've called for an end to the renewable fuel standards, which mandate that refineries blend biofuels, including ethanol, into Senator Cruz changed the subject. You've called for an end to the renewable fuel standards, which mandate that refineries blend biofuels, including ethanol, into gasoline. As you well know, ethanol is a big industry in this state, $10 billion a year. Last week, Terry Branstad, the popular governor of Iowa, who is in the hall tonight, said that you're bankrolled by big oil and that Iowa voters would be making a mistake supporting you. Why should those voters side with you over the sixth-term governor of this state, sir?
Well, Chris, I'm glad to discuss my views on ethanol and energy. I think God has blessed this country with enormous natural resources, and we should pursue all of the above. We should be developing oil and gas and coal and nuclear and wind and solar and ethanol and biofuels. But I don't believe that Washington should be picking winners and losers, and I think there should be no mandates and no subsidies whatsoever.
All right, Barry, pass or fail on that one.
Big picture as an American, I agree with Ted Cruz. Little picture, Iowa caucuses, absolutely the wrong thing for him to say. Iowa loves the ethanol subsidies because it sustains their corn crop at a price well above market. So you heard the booing. Those were the corn farmers in the Iowa audience last night.
All right, but Donald Trump didn't have to answer any of those questions, Barry. Did he do the right thing in staying away and so that he couldn't possibly screw up the debate last night?
Donald Trump is a drop-dead genius for what he pulled off yesterday. Let me tell you something. He was going to have arrows flying at him all night from every direction, from every candidate on the stage. Instead, he made himself the biggest story in America. Not only did Fox cover him all day, but CNN, ABC, NBC,
every network all day.